congratulations on the continued success of the Digital Times. Where do you see things progressing with the title?
Well, the magazine is going very well, and it's growing issue in, issue out, and I think it's a very exciting space. It's a challenging magazine to work on because the content moves, or the type of content that we're reporting on, the sectors, they move so quickly. But then, there's no harm in that either, and it's all happening within that space at the moment, and I think that Ireland as a country has a great future ahead of it, just in terms of the tech space, and obviously we have some of the major giants here, if not all of them already, and hopefully Twitter will arrive as well. But everything from the cloud space, into the social media space, into the e-commerce space, Ireland is at the forefront in Europe on that, and it's a great place to be in at the moment.
Last time we spoke, you were very involved in the Appy Awards, which were very well received. Could you tell us something about the success stories there?
Yeah, I think the first Appies, we were blown away by the success of it, and we're branching it out this year, and we're making it a bigger event, and we're also opening it up so there's a lot more kind of consumer interaction, so people can vote for apps. Again, we've got the Carphone Warehouse involved, and their network of retail stores as well hopefully will come into play, whereby consumers can actually vote for their favourite apps. And I think over the last even 6 months, the development or the nature of the app industry is developed so quickly, it's absolutely unbelievable. Excuse the pun. But the quality of apps has developed, the standard of them has developed, astonishingly. And we're seeing some really, really cool apps, and I think that I think that's going to be much more interesting this year as well, because we have the tablet apps, like the iPad apps, and they've got some really cool social media apps, as we've already discussed, and they can be entered too. So we're looking forward to seeing the quality of the entries rise.
And I suppose a question I keep meaning to ask people is, what do they think about the price of apps? Are they value for money?
Yeah, I mean, for example, when people ask me about price of apps, I always refer to the Jamie Oliver app, the 30-minute meals, one of the biggest selling apps of all time. And that was actually quite expensive. I think that was around the €4 mark, I'm not sure, something around that, or even $4.99. But his cookbook is €20. The app has video content and is as good, if not better, than the cookbook. It's a great app, and it was a bestseller and did very well for him. So, again, it's all down to content, it's all down to utility, it's all down to design. Does it look good? Is it useful to me? Will I use it often? And if that's the case, then you will pay for an app. A lot of the paid apps tend to be in the media space, but then, of course, there's some really expensive apps in the medical space or in the construction industry space. You can have apps that are, TomTom, for example, the navigational the company. Their apps can cost up to €99. And again, it's how useful is the app to me? Will I use it? Is it value? So people can make that leap. But I think apps are good value in comparison to, say, books or other devices, hardware that you may have to buy. They give you a little bit and you become hooked, and then you pay I think it's $1.79 or whatever it is, or 99 cents, or $1.79 I think it was, and you get the entire game. And again, that's a model that a lot of gaming companies are used. They'll give you a taste, and then if you really want to go further, and it's very, very cost effective, for the enjoyment that you get out of it.
And what are your views on advertising on apps? Where do you see that space developing?
Yeah, again, the initial kind of advertising, in-app advertising, was a little clumsy. It was kind of tend to be, a company would create an app for something and put their branding all over it. Or a company, for example, a very innovative way of advertising in an app was for Wallpaper magazine. They had an app, and it was a really, really good app, and it was free. But they monetized it because I think a big brand vodka retailer got behind them and just did a very bit of subtle branding at the front. But it allowed the user then to have a really cool app, but they monetized it that way. And then you've got, it's festival season now, so you've got oxygen apps, and you're going to have electric picnic apps. And again, the branding is kind of, a little bit behind the scenes, so the more subtle the better. But you know what you're getting, and I don't think consumers mind too much if they're getting a very good app, great utility, and there's a bit of branding in it. So I can't really see any harm in that.